Yeah, it should be live now.
We did one of these.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, gosh.
All right, I would like to call the meeting to order. This evening is a work session. It's just information setting for discussion topics of mutual interests and exchange ideas. There will be no votes. There will be no public comment this evening. This is just a work session. We're not deciding on anything. And with that, I would like to turn over to John.
Thanks everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate especially the staff. Thank you for coming out and joining in. In front of you, the documents that I've set in front of you are the documents that I'm planning to use to help us guide through this evening. But I also intend on capturing, depending on how you guys prefer, intend on capturing some of those notes up here as well. The first document I'd ask you to take a look at is this one here. Bottom line is the whole purpose behind this exercise that we're doing is so that we can get to the point in time where we can see ourselves as clearly and as best as possible. I'm pretty confident that no matter how hard we work to pursue that, we're never actually going to be able to fully see us because, of course, there's 13,000 people that live in the city. And so I think though we've had a positive response from the community in contributing to this effort, it's still nowhere near not even 1% of the overall population. But it's our best effort to be able to see ourselves. If you flip the sheet over, it talks a little bit about the purpose of why we're coming here together. In short, conducting SWOT analysis with the LeGrand City Council and community is conducting a foundational step in building a unified, community-driven, strategic direction for the city. So making sure that there's direct connectivity between what we understand from the community and what you understand from the community and what our staff sees as our reality, and then being able to shape and mold what our priorities should look like going into the next budget season. So this is just meant to help us inform us that much more. Anybody have any questions on that? Down below there, those 1 through 8 are some additional granular details of the effort. I won't read off them to you unless you'd like, but I'll pause there for a second to give you a second. All right, so continuing forward, bottom line is SWOT analysis. I'm not sure how many of you guys have ever experienced this before, if we've done it here before, or what your knowledge of it. So please excuse me if there's any part of me that seems like I'm talking down to you in any way. I'm not I'm intending to do that. It's just intended to get us all with a shared understanding. The bottom line is as we conduct this exercise, the SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And the lens that I'm going to ask you to look through as we're answering those questions is the lens that you have as a city manager and as a member of the community, let alone maybe what feedback that you received in your interactions with the community. So bottom line is, at least from my perspective, there's no wrong answer to any of these questions that we're going to be asking today through whatever perspective or perception in which you decide to bring information to the table with. So I'd encourage you to be willing to bring whatever comes to mind. Right now, we're just throwing mud at the wall, and then we'll have more talk and more conversation about that later and in the future. There's another document that I provided to you guys on the table. There's one that has the word buckets in the title. If you look at that particular document, you don't have to necessarily get to know it now, but that's a summary outline of the trend analysis from what we've received, both from what the city staff has been able to provide, as well as what members of the community have been able to provide. It's meant to create buckets of generality of what has come from the information that's been received so far. So that's what that document is for.
So did you ask the community for this information too?
Yes.
Oh, that was during your town hall.
And then I've had several follow-up conversations that's been fairly productive, these town halls. I've had a lot of opportunity to go and have one-off conversations with different members of the community, and I'm encouraging them to give me other venues to be able to go to as well. And in every conversation, I bring this document and I make it a part of the conversations and encourage them to bring them back to me or to provide them back to me in whatever mechanism that they prefer. And so Also in the stack of documents that you guys have is going to be a stapled series of SWOT analysis sheets. That, and it should have on the top of it either the title of where it came from, or in the bottom who the person was that submitted it. And so that's a capture of everything that's been provided to us
Excellent.
and contributed thus far. My intention is to take whatever comes from our conversation this evening and put that up against what we've received so far and provide some more trend analysis in regards to what's coming in and what we're seeing as being the big hitters. Don't misunderstand me when I'm talking about this. I'm not looking at this as whatever is the most common thing talked about means that's going to be our priority. What I want to be able to do is be able, through these different interactions that I'm having with the community, to be able to explain them why not. If something that lands on that list is something that seems to be important, but whatever the reasons, whether it's resources, I'm incapable, or just for whatever, any number of reasons, I want to be able to, my commitment to the community is that I'm going to go back to them, I'm going to explain to them why not when we end up in the situation where we can't. Or what the reasons are. And or, in the best case scenario, be able to provide them what a roadmap to getting it would look like in order to be able to make it happen. Hands down, the primary reason for all of this is so that we're building trust with the community. In increasing our communication and getting them to know and understand better what the challenges are that we're facing as a city in order to be able to achieve the things that the council says that we should achieve, which of course is coming from what the community says that we should achieve. And so the intent is just to make sure that we're understanding each other simultaneously throughout all of that. Some common terminology that I've been using is I want to be able to create a menu of options of how we can do any of these number of things that we might come up with when it's not currently within our resource capability. And because at some point in time, as I see it, as I'm sure all of you see it, and I realize you guys have been playing this game here a little bit longer than I have, but when it comes down to it, we're going to need some skin in the game. We can do the best that we can, and we can squeeze the turnip and get as much blood out of it as we possibly can, but at some point in time, it's going to run to its end, and I think all of you know that already, that we're not in any danger at the moment, but we can probably see danger on the horizon. So the intent here is to be able to start recognizing right now and today what we need to do, what we want. Let me rephrase it. What we need, what we want, and what we would like to have. And then my intent is to come back to you guys with a plan on how we accomplish each and every one of those things, with proposed timelines in which we would attempt to accomplish them. But also that's dependent on how we end up resourcing it, right? So more to follow in regards to that, but I'll be honest with you too, going into the next season, and I wonder if we can't get into any budget conversations tonight. Next month, we're gonna come in and have conversation about budget science and talking about, Heather has agreed to help me look smarter in the room next month when we come in to be able to talk about what's happened historically and why. That way we can see, it'll be better clearly understood going forward as to whatever it is that we're saying we can do, as well as if we want to make sure that we achieve that goal of a balanced budget, what services we're going to have to cut in order to be able to make that happen. And we'll make recommendations as to what those services are if we want a balanced budget. If we're willing to do business similarly to the way that it's been done, then my intention is also to come back with a roadmap to how we're not going to keep doing that and how we're going to get to the point in time. But that's going to take, my guess is at a minimum, we're still in the analysis stage, but it's going to probably take at a minimum 2 to 3 more years before we're going to be able to see ourselves there. And I think I'm being a little bit optimistic when I say it that way. But I figure let's set the goal like high and shoot for it and do the best we can get ourselves there. So with that being said, does anybody have any questions or any comments on what I've stated or shared with you already?
Pretty
Okay.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, say again?
Oh, so she said, sorry, go ahead, say
It
it.
looks pretty self-explanatory, the way it's
Yeah.
all broken down.
I'm just slightly concerned with the discussion we just had about balancing the budget, because to me, that's a non-negotiable. That was the council's highest priority for this year. So I don't know that I'm ready to hear we're gonna have a game plan of balancing it in 2 or 3 years, as much
Okay.
as I think.
And I understand that. You unfortunately weren't able to be present for the stated expectations, and the agreement that came from the room was that we would allow for this conversation to take place in December before we ended into the season where the absolute would be the case. There was some grace that was given in there in order to be able to get there. What I can tell you is we can accomplish everything that you want, but it won't be keeping the services we have. So you got to be okay with that. And as long as you're okay with that, then I'm going to come back and tell you what we're not going to do in order to achieve it. But understand, as I'm sure you know, that means some people aren't going to be happy. But I'm good with that.
Generally, the nature of budgets.
Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Okay, to begin, what I'd like to be able to do is us talk about what you see as strengths within our community, within our city, within our government, within our operations, things that you feel are strengths that we exhibit, or that we have already.
I think we have a strong staff.
You want to expand on that a little?
Well, I guess I think that they're knowledgeable, they do a good job.
I think the strength of the community, the people that support the rest of the community, volunteer work, all that, I think that's a big one of our community that's very strong.
But it's also a weakness because we're running out of people
It's
to volunteer.
declining.
It is.
It's a two.
Yeah.
It's two, it's,
But I think that's a national thing, it's not just our community.
yeah, well,
I
but
think
it
for our
is,
community, we're doing well.
yeah, but I mean, it is a fact here that,
It is.
yeah.
And it's going to be perfectly okay for you to have, in fact, on one of the sheets you'll see on ours, that has accountability in all 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
And so absolutely, it's okay for these to show up more than once. You're not limited to one-time use.
I think as far as the city goes, that there's a broad array of services that serve
As in the city government?
the city itself.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Serves
we've got
a
a
variety of
library,
people,
we've
yeah.
got nice parks, we've got a pool, we've got police and fire, and we serve, you know, a broad range of the community and outside of the city as well.
That's H. Okay. Anything else?
I think our location speaks for itself as where we're at. I mean, I agree with everybody said, but this is, my dad, to impress my dad takes a lot. And he just thinks this is probably one of the most gorgeous places, you know, so.
I think that's gonna be on all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Feel free to look at the other options in there if you want to, if something resonates with you. I'm going to sit here only so I can keep writing down the list.
I think that goes with the community, but I find it amazing. I know we're having a hard time finding volunteers, like for the ball drop and other things. But in a pinch, people step up in our community. I'm really impressed with that, you know. 'cause Volunteers, especially. I mean, I have to find a lot of things for theater and so forth, and people are more than willing to help out, which is pretty amazing.
That's kind of going like to the businesses, you know, like
Yeah.
with the parks, you know, they come forward, they help,
They do.
they donate,
Yeah,
yeah.
they do.
That could be another strength is our businesses.
Our business.
Yeah.
Can you expand on that a little bit more?
How they support the community and what they offer.
Right.
Would that include like how the chamber has gone working with the schools, like just recently with the 1A, 2A.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that's all of
chamber.
The interaction with
The- right.
businesses and the
Yeah.
community.
That was huge.
That was huge, that was so nice.
And that's a new chamber staff too.
It is.
Two thoughts here. I think that in the past, our fiscal position has been a strength
Fiscal position?
in-house. Yeah,
In the
we have
past.
been very attentive to ensuring that we have put ourselves in a position fiscally where we're not, going to end up as some surrounding communities have. I also think that to some extent, the size of the community is something of a strength as it lends to a sense of community. People know one another. It's easy to walk through town and really be aware of virtually every business in town. And I think that is, to some extent, a strength. There's a more intimate feeling here than you would get in a city twice our size.
Oh, definitely.
Anybody have anything else?
I personally think our council is great. I mean, we are very cohesive, we work well together. There's not bickering, there's nothing, and you're not afraid to say, no, I don't agree with you, and somebody will accept that. It's okay, you don't have to agree.
What is it when you have old timers here that are doing the business? Like Justin, your business is generational, things like that. The people not just left there, they come back to the area and develop businesses. I think that says a lot for maybe back to community.
Oh,
Or carry on the
Like
business.
the kids leave and then they come back to
Yeah, to raise their
support.
It's a
kids.
safer
Yeah.
community.
It is a
Yeah.
community.
We're at 60 years.
Yeah, well, that says a
Oh,
lot.
that's
Yeah, it
good.
does. We have several 100-year plus.
I was gonna
businesses.
say, isn't Goss that? Isn't
Goss is
Goss is
one.
one.
Yeah, Goss is.
Yeah.
Cherry's Florist, Fitzgerald, yeah.
Oh, really?
Cherry's Florist is 100
You
years.
okay with me saying
No.
generational community?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's important. I think that says a lot for the community.
Okay. Anything else anybody wants to add?
In your short period of time being here, what would you say our strengths are?
Yeah. What have you observed?
I would say that the directors that we have are true SMEs. Like they genuinely know their business. Which makes it nice for someone like myself who's transitioning into the
That's huge.
the position.
Definitely a mutual respect.
I probably could come up with a whole long list of others. I would have to add, there's no shortage of people with opinions in the community. And what I can say is that's at times painful.
Yeah.
Right.
But I see it as opportunities to build relationships and build trust.
Well, and if they're willing to come forward and say that, that means they're comfortable with,
With it,
and
yeah.
and they expect, they know they're respected for saying it.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I'm sure that, so far, everybody that I've spoke with, there was one family that is located in the urban renewal area and had some very distinct complaints in regards to their experiences with trying to update their particular business in accordance with the rules and the dynamics and the red tape that they feel like that they were having to navigate in order to be able to do what they need or wanted to do. When I first showed up to meet with them, they actually showed up to the town hall that we did. And at the town hall, they spoke, just told me enough to say, hey, we really want to talk to you. And then when I showed up to the meeting, they were hot. Like they had a long laundry list of complaints and things that they felt wronged by. People on our staff that they did not waste any time or energy being able to tell me like what they thought negatively of them. And they showed the reasons as to why, or they explained the reasons as to why. Fortunately, I'd learned enough at that point in time to be able to have communication with them that was able to give them a side of it that they didn't know, a side that they didn't understand, which in my mind, like right around that point, the tone of the conversation changed, and we had, no kidding, we ended up talking for 2 hours, and I would bet the first 45 minutes of that was that just letting them vent.
Tense.
And then the last hour and 15 minutes of it was this positive. I actually walked away feeling like we were becoming best friends for life. And so it was an incredibly positive experience, and I continue to dialogue with them right now. There's some stuff that they're planning on doing with their business in the future. The truth is, I think the team paid all the tax already, and somehow they're going to think I'm a part of it, because I think Mike and their team laid the foundation to make it actually really simplistic for them going forward for the follow-on work that they want to do. But understanding the why behind things were things that they just wanted the time to have that. For me,
A lot of times people just want to be heard.
yeah.
Not always to get a solution, but they just want to be heard.
100%. But I also think that some of those voices are the voices that are having the most impact on the community that isn't showing up to these meetings or isn't going to this. And so I feel like as much as there's times where I'm like, I don't want to go to another one of these meetings or one of those meetings, the bottom line is at some point in time, I think we've talked about this before, the community, in order to keep what we have to increase what we have for our financial health or for our reality, if you want to keep it. Sure, an option is to cut things, but I'm guessing that it's going to be a hard decision to make, because the types of things we're going to have to cut aren't going to be easy things to cut. So then the next option is going to have to be, we have to increase what we have coming in for money. I'm not telling you guys anything that you don't know yourselves. We owe a plan on how we're going to make that happen, but I also know that the plan in order to make that happen is going to cost resources in order to make it happen. But we can't, as good as it's been being done, this is what I tell the people when I talk to them too, and the upside is in these conversations, they're talking like they want to bring resources to the table, like they want to contribute. And I feel like it's because, like, Kyle and I went out on a community neighborhood, wanted to talk to us about all the problems on their streets. I want to say Foley. Don't.
It was Foley.
It was Foley, okay.
The neighborhood?
Yeah, went over there, like 6 neighbors came and we met with them, we talked with them, we're standing with them looking at the road like, yep, this is not good, we agree with you, there's no part of us that's trying to sit here and tell you differently. But we talked about all the realities associated with why it's the way that it is and why it's a trouble and where it's at on the priority list, which they were happy just to see a list and know that they were on a list, even though it wasn't a promise to have it done by a particular time. They're just happy to be on the list. But in that conversation, they talked about what additional can we just go ahead and pitch in and throw money at this to try and help get our particular roads fixed? And we said, well, this is a really good idea, thank you. But give us a chance to do some more work on our own before you commit that kind of make that kind of a commitment yet to solving the problem. So, bottom line, the purpose of me sharing all that with you guys is just simply that relationship building part, I feel like is going to make a difference in the long run. Yeah.
You know, I would add maybe one more thing on that, so you don't have to write it, but I think there's a tremendous amount of diversity of thought in our community relative to the surrounding area. What I mean by that is, we have a mix of, university professionals at the hospital, and then we have, our ranchers and our farmers and our kind of blue collar laborers, and we all are part of the community together in a way that I think is uncommon nowadays. And it's not like the city is being driven by some, intellectual subgroup that's driving this. It's no, like we're intimately involved with all of the other members of our community and their circumstances. And so I think that is actually a strength that we have, because it creates more dialogue around the issues that we face, the decisions that we make. We're interested in how this affects anybody in the community in their various circumstances, probably a little bit more than you may see elsewhere.
Yeah, I just to tag onto that a little bit, like EOU is amazing. I reached out to them to talk to them about us working together on an economic development effort where we work together on it, and them giving us some students to be able to help us in that effort. And they're 100% on board. We're still shaping it, but they're 100% on board to try and help us make it happen. So I'm kind of excited to see
Yeah.
where that goes. Let's see. So that was strengths. We can, if you happen to think of something else while we're navigating through this, don't be afraid to. Weakness is, don't be afraid to throw it back out there. I can always go and add it to the list. And also, in front of you, you should have a blank SWOT sheet too. So feel free to write on there if you like, and if you want to give them to me at the end of the evening here, whether it makes the list up here or not. Feel free to fill those out if you'd like. So same question, but through the same lens. What do we see as weaknesses within our community and our city? Problems, weaknesses.
Finances, or money.
Money.
Yeah, revenue.
Maybe related to that, you know, there's a lack of economic vitality.
There is.
I think growth is one of our weaknesses.
Or what?
Growth, I think we all.
Not enough or too much?
Not enough.
No, no, no.
Not enough growth, sure, we're stagnant. I mean, if you look at the
Yeah.
last 50 years, our community has not grown.
Oh, I think like
Oh, yeah.
100 years.
I
Agreed.
think location definitely, you know, winter months,
Yep.
that is one of our biggest weakness, and that's nothing we can do.
No.
It's just where we're located.
What was it you said?
The location is in the winter months.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right,
Freeway
we'll
closing.
move LeGrand.
Yes.
Both sides. and you
On
get-
both sides, and then you're locked in.
Huge.
Well, we're also having an older
I was
population.
gonna say, last I looked, we're an aging population.
We are, yeah.
But where did I just see demographics that it's not as aging as I thought?
Oh, really?
That'd be interesting.
I
remember looking at the last census data and thinking that it's,
it's
It was.
not
yeah.
as, yeah. Maybe I
What
think the
about
hospital had that.
Timing of things getting completed or getting things started. It's like, sometimes they're kind of like great ideas, but it's kind of stagnant for anything to get started.
Can you expand on that a little?
Permits, how outlaw the process is, but you always hear about people can't get the permits.
Like
And build the
bureaucracy.
bureaucracy of it, yeah.
Yeah, that would be
Or
one.
red tape,
Red tape, yeah.
red tape.
I'm gonna say our recruitment too, trying to get good staff here that when they leave.
To replace.
Oh.
Yeah, applicant pool isn't
Yeah.
isn't very deep, yeah.
Cost of housing as well, and that limits the applicant pool sometimes too.
Yeah. I
I
don't
don't think it's
understand
really
why
cost, I
it's as
think
high
the
as it is.
quality.
I think
We
they
have
try
plenty
to
of
rent an
small, but I
apartment.
think some of the.
Oh, renting
better
apartment?
quality homes are not there.
And if you have a pet, try to rent an apartment or a house because the market is so compressed that landlords say,
No pets.
no pets.
You know,
'cause
we're
they
saying that,
can.
but yet I was just talking to somebody who was they were trying to sell their house, and their houses aren't selling either. Right, well,
I
maybe it's
think
because
that's
of the interest
fairly
rate.
new in the
Yeah, it is,
last-
but that's
There's
what's
probably
happening.
a long list of
6
reasons
months.
as to
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, and it's also this time of season.
Oh, I know the
Houses don't
season
move.
is a terrible time. You do that in the summer.
I think one weakness is, you know, there may not be enough turnover in some positions. And what I mean by that is you get used to doing things the same way every time. That sometimes you can be closed off to new ideas.
So it's complacency then.
Complacency is probably a good way of phrasing that.
Yeah. People don't like change sometimes.
Well, I think I agree with that. Sometimes we're not thinking outside the box.
And I
Yeah.
I don't mean necessarily
Yeah,
a
the seasons are
turnover
gonna change
of.
regardless.
Actually, I think
Yeah, like I'm not saying, hey, people need to be fired, that's not.
Right.
that's
No,
not
no,
what
I
I'm
didn't
getting
take
at.
that.
What I'm saying is, you know, again, you look at organizations that turn over very frequently, and there's a constant injection of new thought, new ways of thinking, and revisiting old ways of doing things. And so I think that's more what I'm after is, It's just the idea of, hey, it's okay to look at things with new eyes and ask the question, is this the best way to do it?
Well, it's kinda
I
like-
think that's a weakness.
New
I think
energy,
that we're
everything.
not
Yeah.
open to new, like you said, open. We kind of box ourselves in our thinking. It's, this is how we've done it, this is what we're gonna do. We have to look outside the box
Yeah,
and be innovative.
If you don't mind, I'd like to add into that maybe, or build off of it, resilience. One of the things that I've discovered as I've come into the organization is the mere anticipation of change is high stress. It's like across our staff, there's a lot of conversation about potential future change. Very little has happened as of yet in regards to change, but there's certainly change on the horizon. And that anticipation of that is incredibly high stress. That's one of the reasons why I started sending out that weekly message now too, so I'm trying to help bring down the pulse of stress, because I recognize that I'm new, I'm different, I'm new eyes, but I still have to figure out the pace in which to go that's right for the community's needs, while at the same time not risking breaking the teams that we're leading. So trying to build that resilience.
well, what's been a weakness in the past, and it seems to be improving, was basically the difference between the community and the division between the city. And I know that that's one thing that you're trying to bridge, but that's been a big weakness, I think, because a lot of people
They don't
sometimes.
know.
Yeah,
They don't know what the city's doing.
yeah, they don't know what the city's doing, they don't know who to contact, they don't know
Oh, yeah.
all this kind of stuff, and where can they find the information, and.
Well,
And maybe
sometimes,
And not
it's-
everybody
Communication might
does
be-
stuff on the
Yeah.
internet either.
well, sometimes it's hard to find it on on the
I know.
website. I will say that.
I have a hard time,
I'm gonna add to
Webpage.
that. One of the things I've learned in getting out into the community and having the opportunity to visit with people of all ages, there are definitely distinct differences in how people want to be informed. And at one point in time, the internet became the thing, right? It was the rage. And then we created web pages, and we started pushing everybody to that. And it's the primary method of communication. The problem is we can get frustrated with the fact that we put the information out there, and people can get to it and they can read it. Like, there's nothing that we are working on or that we have that people don't have the opportunity to know about, but it's dense.
It's that person reading
It's
it,
hard to
because it's such a one-way communication.
And you have to seek it out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and,
100%.
and the majority of the people, I shouldn't say majority of people, it's not easy for them to navigate through a computer.
right,
I
Yeah,
think
how easy is it for us to get frustrated when you're not technologically savvy anyway?
Well, and you're trying to find something, you think, okay, what word should I use to try to find that?
Yeah.
And that's I've done that on our website. I'm thinking, okay, I want to know this one particular piece.
Yeah.
So I have to go around and think, okay, what else can I call it? What else can I try to use a trigger word?
the challenge is that communication nowadays has to be omni-channel.
And I will tell you that there was somebody that I talked to the other day, she said, well, how do I know this stuff? I said, well, it's on Facebook. I don't have Facebook.
yeah.
It's on the computer. I
Well,
don't
do
Do you
even
know
know
what
what to do with
percentage of our
it.
residents
There's-
don't have internet?
Pardon?
Do you know what percentage of our residents don't even have internet access?
Quite a bit.
It's not insignificant.
Yeah,
That does not have it?
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, like all you have to do is go to the library and you see
Yeah.
people coming in there and
But
using
everybody
these
has a
that have
phone and they can get on anything on
but
the
sometimes
phone.
searching things on your
I know, it's
phone
hard.
is far
But
worse
this
than
person
having.
was telling me, she was really
Yeah.
irritated. I said, well, you know,
Yeah.
you can do this, you can go online, you can, if you wanna know what's going on in the city, you can click into the Parks Department. Or you can go into Public Works, you can do any of those, Mike's job. But well, I don't know how to do that. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? I don't know what our answer is, because there's no newspaper here unless you go to the Eastern Oregon. Do you listen to the radio? I don't listen to the radio. Well,
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. No,
It's a
yeah.
one-way
It was
street,
just-
yeah.
The problem is real.
It is real. It was very frustrating with her,
So,
working with her. Trying-
And I know we're here just to discuss the problems. I'll share, everything you guys are talking about and you're saying right now, we've noted as a team already.
Right.
And we're already strategizing things to do to try to get after that. And that's all stuff that we'll talk about when we get forward. For the sake of respecting your guys' time, I don't want to necessarily give you everything we're already doing unless that's where you want to go with the conversation. But what I can say is duly noted. The information is not only dense, but it's also complex. And we owe the community to simplify it and communicate it to them where they receive the information as best as possible. We're not going to get everybody, but we can do the best we can.
So I guess one of the things would be public perception of things, is the way they think it is, that it isn't necessarily that way, but that's their perception of it. And their perception isn't that they can't get to the city. They don't know what the city's doing.
Yeah.
And that's a perception.
Yeah.
Okay,
And where their money's going, that's what I hear.
yeah.
Yeah,
What am I
and then-
paying for?
And the reality of it is we can put everything we can that we want out there and make everybody have the access to the information. But if it becomes frustrating, the go-to response to that is we're not trustworthy.
Right.
Right,
And it's our responsibility to figure out how to solve that problem.
right.
As much as I would like to say, learn how to use a computer or go to the library, but that's we don't have the luxury of giving that as a response. But I'm hearing you. Any other? We filled this in a whole lot faster than the strengths, by the way.
Yeah, well,
That's not a good thing.
No, but
No, actually, it is.
It's
if you look at these, you get a lot of them that have more weakness than they show.
I'm trying not to look at that, I'm trying to come up.
Oh, I didn't even read them, I'm just looking at the number.
They're pretty equal numbers here, though.
Some of them. That one's not, but.
Anybody have anything else that they want to add to?
The first impression of the community is long-lasting, and there's times when it's all spruced up, all beautified, and there's times like now, of course, it's the weather, with all the icky leaves out and sidewalks are covered, and I don't know. It
They've
just
been-
kind of looks
yeah.
dirty. I don't know how else to explain it, but
Well, they've been sweeping the roads with the leaves.
I know.
Yeah,
They're not
but yeah.
sleeping everybody's road, that's what I've heard.
Every-
They're not sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw on the list life,
That's good, yeah, that's,
if that's all
Some of the
right.
buildings, yeah.
I personally feel like La Grande is amazing. I do think it's beautiful, but I think there's a lot of ugly too.
yeah.
And I think when we're looking to try and make it attractive to get people to come here, that is going to be, when you take that and combine it with the difficulty of trying to find a home,
Right.
let alone find a job, it just, what I think we should be getting after is multiple streams. They're like, we're not going to solve the problem, but we can solve several small contributing factors to make it one less of a reason. And to me, this is actually a huge
Big
issue.
one,
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
Okay, is anything on the strengths list that you think needs to be over on the weakness list as well? Doesn't have to be for the same reasons, it can be.
I think that you already said location
Yeah,
during the
I think we-
winter and stuff, so
What's that?
let's see. Location during the winter
Yeah,
for
we
people,
wrote that
because we
down.
get locked in.
Yep.
You know, I never believed that when I first went here. Somebody says, oh, we get locked in real fast. Oh, yeah, we do.
Okay, opportunities.
That's what they make of it.
We have room for growth.
Yes.
We have the land
Oh, we do.
in our urban growth boundary and can expand it.
I think education is a tremendous opportunity.
Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I see patients all day long, and I've practiced in other communities. And this community by far, when I ask a junior or senior in high school what their plans are for the next few years, has the lowest percentage of children who want to go on to receive advanced education. But that will be the economic driver of our community.
So you're saying that the opportunity is to increase or improve or encourage education?
The opportunity is to encourage and improve education and skills so that our community members are more employable, are more apt to develop and bring in new businesses and new skills.
We also had the opportunity with the high school for those to learn the trades as they were building those buildings. I think that's incredible, because there's a lot of talk of, AI and a whole bunch of things, replacing other jobs, but the trades are really, really important. And I think apprenticeship, I guess, we have those
Say
opportunities.
community partnerships or something.
Yeah.
I think we can expand on that and take it as an opportunity to fill long-term some of our chronically underfilled positions in dispatch, police, fire, to use those connections with the schools and EOU to create our own future employees.
I think having a business park is a very good plus to bring in businesses and so forth, so we have that opportunity to bring in,
How many lots are left?
expand. What?
How many lots are left?
3.
I
Yeah.
think I just saw, wasn't there only 1 or 2 left now that you just sold?
Two left. Yeah.
Oh, 2?
Speaking, well, I keep trying to talk about other stuff, we're not here for that.
I think if we look back on your thought about blight in the community,
Yeah.
there certainly is an opportunity for beautification
Yeah,
of our community.
Yeah.
I like that you said that.
Can I just go into blight? I just have a question. Is there so many regulations that we have to go through that we can't have volunteers to help with the blight? Like
It depends what you
Paint.
mean.
painting and just, polishing up. And, I know they can't build apartments or any of that kind of stuff, but just to make it look more appealing from the outside. Is there a bunch of regulations or what?
I'll have to do some research. I don't think we have as much problems with the ability to get the people to do it. It's how we resource them with the things they need to do it.
But sometimes a lot of people would donate to, depending, there's a whole
Yeah,
series.
no, I'm hearing you.
But I
We-
think a lot of
we
people
just-
would like to go ahead and help a lot more than we give them the opportunity to do
Yeah.
so.
At our most recent town hall, we recognized a group that Stacy recommended they take it upon themselves to go up and clean at the parks.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, I'm glad you brought it up. Recognition I would have to throw into here, because part of the reason, which kind of feeds into what you're talking about, a couple of different things that I feel like we need to do better about in recognition is the people that are in the community that are doing those things. So then, hopefully the word's getting out that we're paying attention and we're helping other community members to know that they're doing it as well. So that hopefully the thanks isn't just coming from us, but it's coming from others.
That will get other people to do it too, so.
Simultaneously, I would like to see us put a stronger effort into, and this is in the recognition category, our committees and commissions are doing some significant work and putting in some time in order to bring what they're bringing. And I don't know that they get adequately thanked for what it is that they're doing. And so I'd like to, if the world was we'd throw a party just for them and say thank you. But that's a whole nother conversation in itself.
I just thought of something, but it goes back on the weakness side. It was brought to my attention at church one time. Town of Union has a public restroom for community. And they were saying that there's no community restroom like at Max Square or anything like that. And people go into businesses, unless you partake in their business or whatever, they don't let you use the restroom. So there's,
If you look through those documents that I gave you guys, you'll see that that's on there as well.
is it really?
One of these, okay.
We've had them before, but,
You really?
Chamber.
oh yeah, no, the chamber, but there was public restrooms downtown for a while.
For that?
It
In
was,
fact, somebody said they were right
Oh,
over
yeah,
here.
yeah, old fire, I didn't, that's, they didn't say that, yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
right over
yes.
there.
Yeah. 'Cause I know
There's
a
now,
lot,
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not.
have
in-
been
a lot of people go to the library, unfortunately,
Right,
too.
but if people are downtown, there's no,
Downtown.
there isn't any, but there was.
I don't know how uncommon that is. I think that's actually quite common in many communities, and I think you've
To
seen
have
some
them or not
communities
have them?
remove them
Well, I
to
think
not
one-
have
They're
them.
not having.
Because I think,
Union
That
has
doesn't
one,
mean
the
it's
Union has
good.
one.
I don't
See,
think
like-
Boston has a downtown public restroom.
yeah, but you have to look, Union is downtown.
Boston got a real
Their-
problem.
That park is
Right,
right
I know.
I
downtown.
think
I'm
there's
just saying,
reasons
if you
for
wanna
that is
encourage
because
more
it can
downtown.
attract
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah, you'll end up having people camping out in there.
Oh, then you close them at dusk or whatever. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons why not to do something, and there's gonna be
Right.
reasons to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think if what you're saying, maybe public services, there are opportunities to, improve
Gotta be in a room for growth.
some things like that. I think that's fine.
Public services, and then an example would be,
Toilet. Levity.
I feel like I should write something.
Toilet.
I think you can use it there. Put Molly's name next to that.
Ability to do.
Oh.
Here's my perspective on it. If we haven't done everything we can do before we go to the taxpayers to ask them to increase their taxes,
Gotcha.
then we should probably be considering what we should be doing before we go to them and say, let's increase your taxes. When some of them know very clearly that there are people that they think should be paying taxes and aren't. And so, from my perspective, if we're not doing everything we shouldn't even be talking about adding some additional taxes. But with that being said, if you don't mind, I'll add to the conversation, special districts.
Like Island City?
What's that?
I was just joking. I said,
Like
Island
Parks,
City.
library.
Well, that would be an annexation, but,
No, she's not here.
but actually, it's funny you bring this. So by my list of things I was gonna close out with is I wanna do this, if you guys are up for it, I wanna do this exercise with the city council from Island City, all of us. Because I think we should be looking for.
We should work together.
Opportunities, in my mind, would be county, Island City, and
ISL.
IS.
Yeah.
ISL.
Island. We should be looking at, again, these are just things that are on the menu.
Right.
We should be looking at how we can work together or join services in some way or another that's gonna help us reduce cost
Right.
for both of us
Win-win
and
for
gain
each.
efficiencies. What's
And-
that?
A win-win for each.
Yes, exactly. But I think that's gonna take,
That's,
and to me, like some of the things when we're talking county, this includes the sheriff's office. When we talk about that, that's gonna probably make a lot of people really uncomfortable. But it should be on the menu. Any other opportunities
Is
anybody
there
can think of?
something that passes, happened that, oh, why would it make, I'm just curious, making who uncomfortable?
Well, it depends on what the topic of conversation is. There's any number of things that we could be potentially talking about, that could be efficiencies gained, but there's.
Perceived differently then.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know if there was like past history that.
No, I don't have a particular thing that I'm saying would be a problem. What I can say is that anything we share with the county or we enter into a partnership with the county on could be perceived as a diminished level of authority that we have because we're now sharing it. And it isn't just us deciding for ourselves.
Right.
Now we have to share in the decision making. And so that, yeah, there's going to be
Gotcha.
people that aren't going to like that.
Gotcha.
I agree with you, though, John. I mean, the cooperation between surrounding communities, at least in my time on the council, we haven't seen it from our side. I suspect meetings have happened in the past, but
they have.
we've not generally been privy to much of that. And
So I can tell you I've laid the groundwork for us to have all these conversations with them, with every one of those that are listed here.
Right.
Good.
We just have to, Island City's got some current challenges that are making it a little bit difficult, but they're on board. The county, I've talked with all the commissioners, they're on board, and I've spoke with the sheriff and they're on board. And what I mean by they're on board is they're on board for the conversations.
That's a start.
I would put, though, like that, but more internal, cooperative efforts between the city and major employers and entities like the university, the hospital.
Yeah.
We have many large employers and there have been some efforts made, but I think many have commented, you almost wouldn't know that LeGrand is a university town. You go to most university towns and you know they're a university town because it bleeds all the way through the community.
That's
It
always,
does not here.
it has been talked about ever since I've lived here.
But that remains, I think, a tremendous opportunity.
I've also had conversations with EOU for us to get together with them and do this exercise as well. In fact, I think we're programmed to do it in February. That was just as soon as their schedules were gonna be at a lull enough and ours, because January is gonna be a crazy month for us. That's just as I know it. You guys probably know better than me. But February, we'll get together with them and have more conversation on it. Tim Seidel is the one I'm doing most of my coordination, and I've met with the president as well. Anything else anybody else in mind? Anything from the previous two that we think should carry over to here in some way or another? What's that? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Where you put that guy?
Right here.
I thought you were offering to hold it.
I'll hold it.
There you go.
All right. Threats. What do you see as threats if we do not deal with the reality or deal with something in any particular way? If you would explain the context of what you see is what the threat is and what the context of the threat is.
Long-term financial picture.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's probably
number one,
Number one on everybody's list.
yeah.
100% agree.
I also think some sort of a natural or unnatural disaster. Fire, train derailing and blowing up, or,
I think housing is a threat. We don't have enough for the workforce.
So therefore, then you follow with workforce is a threat. We don't have
The
enough
workforce is definitely a threat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
One of the things I heard that was logic that was offered in regards to why, one of the pieces of why Amazon wanted to remain quiet for so long was because they recognized that they were going to be pulling from our current workforce in order to be able to employ their people, which then meant some employers were going to lose employees most likely in order to get people going over to that, to work for them. And so that I would add to the threat of the workforce being we don't have enough to fill what we have. And let alone when we have technical positions. We have to sometimes accept a lesser qualified person for positions and then build them up grow them into the position because of that lack of applicant pool, whereas you go to the larger cities. And of course, you know, the conversation we have when we go into these we call it collective bargaining, that our employees always want to reference these larger cities as being the comparison, which is, yeah, they can go there, it's going to cost more.
They have a
but-
larger pool to pull from, too.
Right, but they have a larger pool to pull from, and so it's just a really not so cool reality.
So John, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so that means another threat would be our lack of economic development. So that kind of goes hand in hand with the other things. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're fine.
I also think drugs, both illegal and legal. Hospital, you have to pass a drug test, and we have trouble finding entry-level people, non-professional people who can pass a drug test.
I was told that 3 major employers within the last 5 years suspended their previously required drug tests
Yes.
because they were
Seriously?
unable to fill enough positions
Oh,
when
that's
they did the
sad.
drug testing. Too
The
many people
mills,
failed.
the mills are.
I heard that
and-
Walmart did
and
as
the-
well.
Yeah,
Well, I can see why
Because they
do it
couldn't
in
fill their
mill, because
positions if
somebody
they did
cut
drug
their
testing.
finger.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
major
but I
issue.
don't think
John, I
you
think
should.
one that we have to be aware of here is that, you know, as you mentioned, one of our great strengths is our staff. But our staff also, you know, this is a threat because, you know, planning department is 2 individuals, right? We're looking at, you know, financial, so to lose any one of our directors or other upper level staff is
It's a big deal.
is a big deal.
Yep,
And
agree.
so on a city level, that's a threat.
100% agree. Just to add to the nuance of that too, Mike, if you don't mind, I'm gonna throw him under the bus for it. He's 5 years out from his intended planning retirement date. In order for us to be able to get somebody to be even half as smart as he is at that, a couple years out from his retirement date, we're gonna wanna have somebody there that we can train. But our current, without risk, our current fiscal reality isn't allowing for that.
Yeah.
And so if we want to try and mitigate that problem, we either got to get more money coming in, or we're going to have to figure out where we're going to be willing to accept risk.
Right.
Or we just have to say you can't retire till you're 80. I mean, that's it.
I've told him that, but he just, like he is now, he's laughing at us.
But yeah, I mean, really though, because we've had such good staff who are so skilled for so long, it
Yes.
unfortunately also creates a threat that when they go, you lose institutional knowledge.
Oh,
that
yes.
You cannot recover for years.
Did that
And
guy retire from the sewer water?
Lyle?
Is it Lyle?
Oh, no, he hasn't retired yet.
He hasn't.
No, he hasn't yet.
What about like cybersecurity?
For
For
threat,
threats of having our city services held hostage.
how much of our city services are online, are reliant on?
Well, they can hack in pretty easily.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, I mean, you can't run your office without your computer.
We can,
You can?
sure.
'Cause
We
I
live
don't.
by. We couldn't access private things, but
Yeah.
we do it. We do everything we do with that computer.
Oh, you do? I'm
We could.
impressed because.
No, we don't, but we could.
Yeah, I was just saying, because they couldn't
If
over
they
at
hacked
Pettit's.
our computers,
Yeah,
like Mike have access to, you know, all the information that he needs to do his job.
That's good. Good point.
So we just had this
Police fire.
conversation last week. You'll hear more about this later, but our IT department came back to us with another hefty bill that's coming in regards for us to be able to set ourselves right for all the things that need to be done. And as the staff unanimously agreed, like, this is like absurd, it's ridiculous. While at the same time, there's literally no way around it, short of going to like what you're saying. And that's just not, in this world today, that's just not possible. And the reality of it is the people that we create our own problems by, Microsoft is a great tool for us to be able to utilize, but we're dependent on it. And so now to transition to something else is like, seems literally impossible.
Our current
So-
IT is not delivering the services in a very good way, in my opinion, either. I don't think we're getting our money's worth, and then they're asking for more.
Yeah.
That's another topic, we can,
Yeah.
I'll leave that.
It's a hard subject,
It is.
but Eastern Oregon is a problem on many fronts. But I'm not in disagreement with you.
I think, you know, a threat that we're all looking at is, you know, what happens in the modern economy with job displacement. So, you know, I have insights into some fairly large companies who are talking about, you know, 20-30% workforce reductions in some sectors that are being replaced by computer technology.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And, you know, thankfully, I think we're a little bit insulated from that, just with the nature of our local workforce, but we're not entirely insulated from it.
Right.
And, yeah, it's a little bit different, I think, than the other workforce that we mentioned. This is a threat of actual, yeah,
Replacement, yeah.
just jobs being lost because they're no longer needed. Yeah.
Just so that you guys, I'm being transparent with you guys, I wrote over here on opportunities grant writer.
Definitely.
Oh,
That's something
yeah.
that I plan on talking to us about further in our coming sessions. But I feel like we have some great opportunities there, but it's going to take some cradle to grave work. All right, anything else that anybody else wants to add to the threats?
I don't know that it's necessarily is a massive threat, but we have aging infrastructure. And you know, maybe that ties more into long-term financial or something like that, but,
And equipment and stuff, would you
Yeah.
include that
you know.
as well?
Let me ask you guys this too.
Deferred maintenance kind of things, and
You kind of stirred a thought that's loosely related to that. The way our laws are written right now, we put a lot of onus on the residents for things like sidewalks. It's a responsibility that they have to do it. And we can see that as we look around, that's not a priority for them, and understandably, right? If they're gonna have to spend money somewhere, they're gonna spend it somewhere else. Maybe it's not necessarily, it's not a threat, but when we're talking about the Blythe topic, if we know that our community isn't gonna fix the problem, then what do we do to fix the problem? And I think ignoring it isn't gonna help us. So I don't know, I
Well,
guess.
take, for example, say the sidewalks where the weeds are growing over the sidewalks. Who would fix that? Is that,
Property owner.
no, I'm talking about like on the, like,
You
on the
talking about like
overpass
code
area.
enforcement type stuff?
Yeah, is that like, since it's on the main drag, is that ODOT's responsibility, or whose does that fall onto?
I'll have to do some more research to be able to answer the question specifically. I'm thinking since the residents are responsible for the sidewalk, then that's gonna make them responsible for the overgrowth as well, or the businesses.
But like you said, like over the overpass,
That sidewalks on the overpass,
Yeah, I'll have to look
Yeah.
into that.
that's not gonna be ODOT, because they don't.
they don't do it, yeah, I don't know.
Well, they're public streets, I mean, the city's streets, they're not, except for Main Street, or Adams,
Yep.
but Cove isn't.
Okay.
That's
Right, yeah.
that's-
Were we supposed to be done by 7?
Yep.
There-
Shuts
I
up.
think it's up to them.
Okay, yeah, it's up to you guys. We can keep going if you want.
I think just finish it up.
I think so. too.
Okay.
We're gonna-
So with your guys' willingness, what I'd like to do is take the threats list here, and I'll send it out to you each individually, and then I would like you to rank order which ones you think are the highest threat and which one is the least threat.
Okay.
It's a good idea.
Well, I think we all agreed on number one.
Yeah,
Definitely,
that's already our one.
that's our
Yeah.
number one.
That's good, but I want to give us the
Oh,
opportunity to not be
okay.
influenced by each other.
Got it.
And then have what I'll do is I'll take an aggregate and share with everybody what the results are from it.
Okay.
So that, for the most part, as far as I'm concerned, I'll take this information, aggregate it against what has come in from the other sources that we've had. We have in the future plans to be able to do the same exercise with these different, was it the other one?
Here's the other one.
Could I add something on the threats?
Yes.
Homelessness, because we're still
Oh,
having,
homelessness?
yes, because we're having an issue too with, I mean, we took care of the parks, but now it's kind of a backseat, and, yeah, about them camping and RVs,
Yeah.
parking and setting up,
Maybe you could put a slash.
because that just doesn't do anything for the community.
Agreed. So I'll do a summary up of what we talked about here today. Send out some basic instructions in regards to the ranking of the threats. And then we'll revisit this topic again in the future when we come together for budget science.
Okay.
Which is currently scheduled for the 15th. And then for those that are going to be in attendance on the 8th of December will be the personality SDI that everybody was sent out, which we're closing in on the completion date, suspense on that. So if you need a link resent to you or anything like that, then let me
You
know.
just did it the one time, correct?
Yeah, just the one time.
Okay.
I think you just resent it to me,
How do you do
and
that?
I think
now,
we did,
yeah, now I'll have mine.
yeah.
It really makes you think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
oh yeah,
I mean-
I think when we do the exercise that we're gonna
Yeah.
do here, which currently it looks like my wife's gonna do the exercise for us, but when we do that, I think it's gonna have even more value to you.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm Mr. Know-It-all, but out of all the personality type things that I've done before, this is the best one and gives you the most information that you can actually
Yeah,
use.
yeah.
I did not like it.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Nope.
All right.
I didn't either.
Because the question would be, how would you react to this situation? I'm like, well, if I were dealing with you, I would do it another way. If I were dealing with my brother, I would do it another way. If I were, so I couldn't give
Or I wouldn't,
a
Specific enough.
situational answer, and.
I found that too, that I didn't like it. And
You
then-
know.
And then of course,
I
I did
might
some of
whack
mine
my
wrong.
brother, but I would never do that to anybody else.
You would think about it, but you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's actually really fair. I went to a training and had these kinds of personality tests, and they always suggest you just pick one, pick a lane. If you're gonna do work, do work. If you're
Yeah.
gonna do individual, home life, do that.
Oh, through the whole
So
thing.
it's not all over the
Yeah.
place.
Right,
But
so
mine's
it
all
was
over.
hard to, I mean, I tried to keep it in my role here, but yeah, it was kind of hard to answer.
It was, some of them were very hard.
Honestly, and I don't know if it reflects how I would actually react.
Because I thought, I don't think I do any of these.
There were a few of them
Yeah.
that way, yeah.
So,
Well, I appreciate everybody taking the time to be here tonight, and I'll hang out here for a little while if you want to talk to me about anything individually.
I
We'll
like
see you
the
guys in a
chairs, by
couple
the
of
way.
weeks.
This was very nice.
So with that, if we have no more questions, I will adjourn the meeting.